Hey there folks, Santee at the Arizona Ghost Riders here. Military surplus and how it shaped the Old West. Let's check that out. At the end of the Civil War, the War Department had a bunch of weapons and supplies that were left over. Some went to outfit the military, some went to other countries, and some were auctioned off as surplus. Frank Bannerman bought a bunch to sell as scrap, but found out the need for reasonably priced firearms outweighed his original intention.
Seize the day.
Bannerman also dealt with curiosities. He brought in items like crossbows and Zulu war lances to satisfy certain buyers. Yes, he was also a collector. The top floor of his warehouse was a museum. The trek west was an expensive one, especially if you were going by wagon train. If you needed guns and ammunition and didn't want to pay top dollar, then you bought a used rifle or revolver to accompany you on the trip. Even though some of these may have been outdated firearm tech, they were still serviceable on the frontier. For instance, the 1842 Springfield musket was sold decades after it was manufactured. One of the largest suppliers of these was Schuyler, Hartley & Graham. Spencer, Springfield, Colt, Remington, Winchester, and others supplied the war with arms, so there was a good amount to choose from. Ethan Woods from the 11 Bang Bang channel tells me that due to the military adopting the Colt Single Action Army, they sold off thousands of Smith & Wesson revolvers to surplus in 1880. Some went to Wells Fargo, others went to Schuyler, Hartley & Graham. So, Jesse James's famous Schofield revolver? Yeah, surplus. Interestingly, many of the Wells Fargo models were cut down and nickeled. There were so many surplus firearms at one point that these buyers were forced to store them in additional off-site warehouses. Frank Bannerman built a castle on an island in New York which housed enough weapons to outfit an army. Also, for those riding the range, surplus canteens, saddles, and saddlebags were widely used. Here's an example of a surplus McClellan saddle that was converted for the cattle trade. These didn't come with saddle horns originally. In this example, the iron horn is actually screwed onto the tree. Interesting side note, this one belonged to John Heath, who was lynched from a telegraph pole for his alleged involvement in the Bisbee Massacre. No, not sure what happened to his horse.
I couldn't possibly sneak him in until Monday, sir. I'm booked solid.
The chuck wagon cook likely had some camp supplies that were surplus. On that note, Charles Goodnight put the famous chuck box on the back of a surplus army wagon. While collecting antique utensils to put in my saddlebags, I had a little trouble finding an 1880s spoon. Well, that was easily remedied by grabbing a Civil War reproduction. No reason that wouldn't have been in circulation then. A side note on the reuse of things. I recently acquired some percussion cap tins and read that some people kept them to store things in post-percussion era. One example in a museum contained a sewing kit. I thought this airtight container could be useful for all sorts of smaller items needed on the move. Clothing and blankets were sold as surplus too. Thousands of blankets were left over. These were not the greatest quality or construction, and the military replaced them in the early 1870s. However, they were inexpensive and did the job for those moving west. I have a memory growing up of going to military surplus stores and wanting one of everything. Yeah, I didn't get it, but it was still really neat to hang out in them and absorb all that history. Well folks, that's it for another episode. Thanks for watching. By the way, I want to thank Danny de Becker, a reenactor in Belgium, for sending me this wonderful leather bracelet with the name Santee on it.
It's lovely.
It is lovely. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe.
And...
I knew you were going to do it. I just knew it.
No, go ahead, baby.
I can say it?
Yep.
We'll see you on down the trail. Still here? Okay. By the way, we're going to do another merchandise sale. It's kind of an early Black Friday sale. We're going to start it as of today, and it's going to be another 25% off until further notice. We might carry it all the way through the holidays. We'll see. So if you need a mug or a shirt, it's there. Oh, and don't forget about Patreon. We're talking about the return of old Tucson studios. Yeah, kind of neat. They're doing some upgrades. Should be interesting. All right. I'm out.
Oh, do you remember sweet Betsy from Pike, who crossed the big mountains with her lover Ike?
Well, folks, that's it for another episode. Thanks for watching. Bye
Oh, we're done?
for this week.
2 yoke of oxen, a big yellow dog, a tall Shanghai rooster, and 1 spotted hog. Singing dang, foley-eyed, oh, singing dang, foley-eyed.